The university recently increased its class size. What are some of the measures that you'll be instituting to ensure that the spread is mitigated given the number of people in a space?
Well, we'll continue to do all of the public health guidance that we have, masking up, washing your hands, socially distant. But the metrics that we have followed over months now that we look at through our public health advisory team are our internal and external metrics. We want to make sure that the community has enough resources should there be an untoward increase in cases, as well as within the campus that we're not transmitting. And we're looking at those on a regular basis. And the fact we have a meeting this morning again. And as long as those numbers stay acceptable and sustained for a couple of weeks, then we move to the next level. So, really not going to be anything new as far as public health. But what it shows us are the public health measures that we have put in place are working because we have less disease in the community and in the campus.
Any concern in making this decision that it sends a message to students, for example, that it is okay to congregate whether or not you're vaccinated or you're wearing a mask?
We've had many discussions about that, and of course, the difference of opinions that are in the media, at a national level, at a state level, that are confusing. We feel we've been very consistent with our students. Every week, the president and I have a press conference, and we discuss these issues. And we keep reminding our students, faculty, and staff to continue to use the same public health guidance we've always put out there. And just because we're loosening things a little bit, don't feel that you can forget about masking and social distancing and so on. So we keep emphasizing that it's very important.
This week in that press conference, the conversation was about penalties. Where are you in thinking that they will be enforced and honored, especially as the semester winds down and the parties ramp up?
Well, the students overall have been pretty good. We have worked with the dean of students on a regular basis, and I would say penalties are a last resort. We've attempted to inspire, to cajole, to explain so that the students will comply with these guidelines. But as we report every week, there are infractions. When those infractions are continual, give them to the dean of students, and in some cases, expelling somebody and or disciplining a student. But they're not that often. I mean, I would say most of the students are complying, however painful it may be during this tough time.
I want to ask you about some of that mixed messaging that you referenced because the governor has lifted some restrictions, including the mask wearing. But here in Pima County, as we know, it's a different situation. And here on U of A campus, you're still recommending that people wear masks. So people are wondering, who do you listen to?
Absolutely, it is very difficult. When science becomes politicized, this is what happens, not only in Arizona, but in the whole United States. So, President Robbins and I have been very, very consistent that irrespective of any of these other messages that may confuse, our policy on the university is to continue to mask up and stay socially distant until we tell you otherwise, because those are the best public health practices.
You shared the stage with the governor as recently as last week. Would it be fair to say you were somewhat disappointed in his discussion about how to move forward with not wearing masks?
Well, I would say that we have a difference of opinion. I realize that governors, former president, looked at things through a different lens. We're looking at it through a scientific lens that these are the best public health practices. But also, we are sensitive to the economy and business and people being able to start being normal, if you will, again, because we recognize that COVID exhaustion is, affecting all of us.
As a former Surgeon General, who do you recommend that the public listen to when they are weighing politics versus science?
I think it's important that the scientists be heard and those voices are never muted. The truth is, this is still a pandemic. We are in the midst of a pandemic, which seems we're getting controlled for a short period, and we want to continue that. Therefore, it is important that everybody still adhere to the best public health practices of social distancing, washing your hands, wearing a mask, and get vaccinated as quickly as you can. Those are very, very important.
Well, let me ask you this. Here in the state of Arizona, the governor issues one statement, the county with another. The president has asked the state to reconsider. Does that have to factor into what people decide on what's best for them?
It certainly does, and I think it's important that, the public knows where to get the best information, especially when there's conflict. I mean, going to, the university website, for instance, going to the NIH or CDC, these are non-political statements of what the best science represents, And that's where the public should go when and if they are confused about this.
All right, Dr. Richard Carmona, thank you for your insight.
Thanks very much.